In today's video, yes, we have another pair of PlayStation Store sales to go over. This is getting a little bit ridiculous. Yes, it's come to the point where I'm kind of complaining about getting great deals on video games. I mean, but can you really call these sales anymore? We are getting them every week. However, they are on different games, and still, these deals are really, really good, and I want to point out the best deals. We've got two sales. One of them is specifically on Fallout, I guess, to celebrate the Fallout Break It In early test application kicking off, but the Pub Party sale is a little bit bigger, and there are a bunch of great games on sale as a part of that. A lot of good JRPGs as well. So want to take a look at all of the good stuff on sale there. Also, we know when the Red Dead Redemption 2 reviews will be going live. So I want to mention that. I'm sure the game is going to turn out absolutely excellent. But if you need some positive reinforcement from critic reviews, I'll let you guys know about that. Also, the PlayStation 4 is getting a console exclusive in The Quiet Man. It's a brand new IP coming from Square Enix, and it'll be a smaller experience. And we know that you play as a deaf man. However, we also got information about a pretty sizable update about the game and reason to actually go back and play through the game multiple times. The developers of Helldivers and Magicka Arrowhead Studios are prepping their next game, and it looks to be a third-person online game. And Marvel vs. Capcom might be going through a little bit of a rebrand. If you guys don't remember, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was released earlier, and it was a pretty terrible game, so that rebrand is definitely necessary. More on that at the end of this video. First, let's go over both of the PlayStation Store sales going on right now. Let's first look at the Pub Party sale, where there's a lot of great deals as a part of that. Danganronpa 1 and 2 Reload is available for $15.99. That's 60% off. I always go to bat for Danganronpa. These games are absolutely awesome. Quality visual novels, some amazing stories, and just give Danganronpa 1 a half an hour to 45 minutes and it's gonna hook you and you're gonna play through it until the end, and it is like a 20-hour experience. Danganronpa 2, I would say, is an even better game, but you definitely want to play the first game before you play the second game. And Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony is also on sale. That is 60% off for $23.99. Great deal on that as well. I think Danganronpa 3 is a little bit weaker than Danganronpa 2, but still a very good game nonetheless. If you're just getting into the franchise, however, I would get 1 and 2 Reload and then check out Killing Harmony after that. Disgaea 5, the complete bundle, is 30% off down to $27.99. The base game is 30% off as well for $20.99. Pretty good deal on that. Disgaea 5 is a game you can sink a lot of time into, so I would recommend to check that out. The Silver Case is 40% off for $17.99. That was one of Suda51's early game. Definitely from a technical standpoint, you might be a little turned off by it, but it's a very interesting story nonetheless. Released way back in the day, but it is a remake and has a more modernized look. And lastly, I do want to give a shout to Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana, which is seeing a substantial 50% off discount down to $29.99. I think this is the best deal I've ever seen on Ys 8. And Ys 8 is a really good JRPG. It follows your traditional Ys formula. A quality action RPG, doesn't reinvent the franchise by any means, but it still has all the qualities you know and love from Ys. Quality gameplay, awesome presentation, I love the music. The graphics aren't anything to write home about considering it was designed for the PlayStation Vita. It was released on the Nintendo Switch as well, so graphically nothing incredible, but the art style works for it, and $30 for it, I would say, is definitely a good buy. Also, outside of the Pub Party sale, the Bombs Drop sale is also going on. It's just Fallout content. Fallout 4 is 50% off for $14.99. The Game of the Year edition is 50% off for $29.99. All of the individual DLCs are discounted as well, and I believe New Vegas, if you want to buy a download copy of that on the PlayStation 3, that is discounted as well. So take advantage of both those sales. Some good deals for you guys to look at. Also, we've been talking a lot about Red Dead Redemption 2, but a lot of you guys are probably curious as to how the critics are going to receive the game. I think it's going to be received very positively. I can't remember the last Rockstar game that hasn't been scored over a 90. GTA 5 was, Red Dead Redemption, GTA 4. And we do know that Red Dead Redemption 2 scores will be going live Thursday, October 25th at 4:01 a.m. Pacific time, so that's 7:01 a.m. Eastern. If I had to predict a Metacritic score for this game, I would have to predict somewhere from a 93 to a 96. I think it's gonna be that high, and I think a 91 would be the lowest end of the spectrum, which is actually crazy. I would see a 91 as a little bit of a disappointment for this game, but I'm really thinking closer to that 95 range, and by the way, there are very, very few games that actually hit 95. God of War was seen as the best game this generation, and that game only has a 94, so a 95 would be outpacing that as well, but I do think Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to do that. So again, those reviews will be posted next Thursday, 4:01 a.m. Pacific, 7:01 a.m. Eastern. Moving on from that, a game that some of you guys might not be talking about is The Quiet Man. It's a new IP coming from the guys over at Square Enix, a game that kind of had a stealth announcement at E3. Nobody really knew what to make of it, but as we're getting more information on the game, I am starting to get more and more sold on it. Now, this is a pretty interesting game in that this is going to be a very short game, and it's promoted as such. It was described as a game that you can complete in one sitting. Now, don't worry, it won't be released at $59.99. It'll see a budget price point release of $14.99, so much more palatable. And there is reason to go back and play through the game multiple times, because while you play as a deaf main character, and you won't be hearing much going through the game, but if you go through it a second time, it's actually going to add sound and speech, so I think that's a great idea. And also, Square Enix did announce the game's ending song, The Quiet. It's performed by English singer and songwriter Imogen Heap. And they also confirmed the fact that the game will support 29 different languages. The Quiet Man hits the PlayStation 4 on November 1st. Moving on from that, if you guys haven't played Helldivers or Magicka, you did yourself a great disservice. Arrowhead Studios have created some of the best cooperative game experiences, but now they are moving on to something a little bit different. Arrowhead co-founder John Pilestead said this, quote, "We are moving into a realm where we want to expose more people to our games, and the primary way we can do that is to move our game into a different perspective, so we're making a third-person game this time around." He continued by saying that also means that local co-op is not something that we're focusing on for this next title, and instead we're going to make it purely online co-op. He also said this is a natural transition for the studio and we have to go down this route. Quote, "We have to see how we can expose a lot more players to our bizarre way of making games where we don't adhere to a lot of the kind of conventions that exist within the gaming industry." That was a snippet from an interview over at the indie game website. Link will be in the description box down below, but that is a little bit of a disappointment to me. I thought Helldivers and Magicka were great local cooperative gaming experiences, and I thought Arrowhead really found a niche in that department. However, if they see reason to try something different and making a third-person online game, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. A studio that I'm very fond of, you guys might know Housemarque, they just went down the Battle Royale route, so I was worried that Arrowhead might be going down a similar route, but it looks like they just want to make a third-person online game. They still want to keep their quirky game design intact, and I'm very much all for that. And lastly, as a longtime fan of Marvel vs. Capcom, you guys probably understand that I was very disappointed with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I actually thought the game had quite a bit of potential going in. They were promoting the single-player mode for that, and it was a new MVC title, and I was just hoping for the best. However, it just was not a very good game, a lackluster character roster. The single-player mode ended up being completely horrible, and the game itself just wasn't very good. However, according to Reddit poster and frequent leaker Das Vergenben, the user is suggesting that Marvel and Capcom are looking at ways to revitalize the franchise, and that this update for the game is still in its early stages, but the game might actually be rebranded as Marvel vs. Capcom 4. It doesn't seem like this would be a new game, rather they would rework this game and make it a better experience. Now, if you don't know, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was very different than other MVC titles. It did have a stripped-down character roster, but it also featured 2v2 battles instead of 3v3, so that was a disappointment as well. But to see Marvel vs. Capcom make a comeback, I still have a lot of nostalgia when it comes to this franchise, and I would love to see it make some sort of comeback. Again, this update is still very early in development, and we'll probably hear something about it sometime in 2019. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, 2 PlayStation Store sales are running right now with the Pub Party sale, as well as the Bombs Drop sale. The Red Dead Redemption 2 reviews will be going live next Thursday, a day prior to the game's release. The PlayStation 4 console exclusive in The Quiet Man will be getting sound and speech during its second playthrough. The first playthrough, you're playing as a deaf character, so expect more of an ambient experience. Helldivers and the Magicka developers and Arrowhead Studios are working on something a little bit new in a third-person online game, and it looks like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite may be getting a rebrand, maybe even to Marvel vs. Capcom 4. That would be pretty cool to see, and that's going to conclude this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. This video is brought to you by scdkeys.com. You need store credit to buy your games anyway, so why not get it for a bit cheaper? They've got PlayStation Network $50 credit codes, and after you use our special code with GC3, you'll be getting that for just $46.64. Also, if you're looking to buy games on your Nintendo Switch, they've also got Nintendo eShop codes for $45.59 after you use the code GC3. They've also got fantastic deals on PC software such as Windows 10 and Office 2019. Check out the links in the description box below to get great deals on everything I just mentioned.